Good afternoon, everybody. We are here with Real Talk without PK because PK is gone right now. He's on vacation. So this is Real Talk without PK. I'm here with Brooke and Kyle, and we're just going to go into a little discussion about calling and about how we all saw our lives and where God has placed us. And really, we're gonna grill Kyle is what we're gonna do.
Absolutely.
So without further ado, I'm gonna turn this over to Brooke and let her take over the lead on this one.
Thanks so much. Hey, I'm just proud of us for showing up without PK. You know, he's gonna be in Florida watching this. He's like, they showed up in my studio. Like, what? Yeah, we're in the studio. We've taken over. Yeah. Well, Kyle, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
You're a brilliant mind.
I was able to schedule you in.
Thank you.
Your people got in contact with my people.
You're a very busy man.
Yeah.
So we appreciate it. Yeah, he told me you have the whole week off of work. So this worked out well.
I'm starting a new job Monday.
Yes.
So.
We absolutely love Kyle.
Yeah. The last 2 months I've been commuting from Canada.
Crazy.
It's been a lot. Yeah. Especially with all the... I don't want this to become a politics podcast, but the politics has been affecting everything that's been going on with Canada. So yeah.
Across your work.
Yeah. People don't like whenever you joke about I'm the invasion force. So yeah, don't do that.
And they don't like the joke about the 51st state.
Yeah.
They probably really don't take
no,
that
no.
well.
I'm like, well, you guys should probably think about it. But yeah.
Well, you're a fan favorite. I don't know if you know this, but I sent the podcast that you did about the election in millennials in our family chat, and Nathan sent in there, and he was like, man, I just love listening to Kyle. He's like, I could listen to Kyle all day long.
Well,
and I was like,
good.
Literally same. I don't know. Everything that comes out of his mouth is just
I'll just record things and send
awesome.
them to Nate. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, if you could do voice memos, that would be great. But you don't have an iPhone. So.
So actually, I used my first, this is completely real. I used my first voice memo today. I actually hung up on my wife too
You
soon
have an iPhone?
in the phone. No.
Samsung has that now?
Yeah.
What?
I saw it off in the corner and I clicked it because I accidentally hung up on her too soon and I needed to apologize for hanging up too soon. And I was like, man, I should not be typing while driving. And I saw the little button. I was like, that looks like a record thing. And like, it came up with a little thing that said, press and hold to record. And I was like, oh, yes. And I was like, hey, babe, like, I did not mean to hang up on you. and that was it. And so, yes. So Nate's going to get flooded with them.
All right. Yeah. Send him
all times of the night.
Send him one after this. He'll appreciate that. No, but truly everything that I feel like you're just such a person of wisdom and you've lived a lot of life and you're not even that old. You're young, but the life that you have lived, I feel like is really just well accounted for all the things.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I will say that like there are times in your life where you feel like God's doing nothing, and then all of a sudden you feel like God's doing everything, and that can it's like you can have a lot of life happen to you really fast.
Yeah.
Life is not just an accumulation of years. Like there's events, there's things that happen. And
I think you could actually be considered possibly the most elder in our church. So
well,
at times, based on experience.
Yeah, no, well, but even that, it's like, right. Yeah, it's like I'm the youngest elder, but also, I'm the one on the board that's been at this physical church building the longest.
Right.
Right. And it's like, that doesn't necessarily, like, there are times whenever that means nothing, right? And it accounts for nothing. But then there are times where it's like, oh, like there's actually something to that. Yeah. And so, I mean, I know we really haven't gotten into it, but like, just the idea of like, if you don't know what God's calling is for your life, put yourself in a position where God can use you and he'll use you, you know? And, so yeah, like, and I've been a Christian since I was pretty young, and that's been kind of one of my like guiding things is just, God, however you want to use me. And there's been a lot of times where I'm like, I don't really feel like I'm being used for anything right now. And when those things are happening, like, okay, just because you don't see how God is using you doesn't mean you get to sit around and be lazy about it. You need to, if you want to be a knife that gets used, you need to start sharpening yourself.
That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, right? Like the whole like iron sharpens iron thing. It's like, are you doing that? It's like, if you're not doing that, like maybe God wants to use you. Maybe he can't because you haven't been along for the process. And God's probably been trying to work on you for a while and you've been resisting it. And it might not just be like, right? When we talk about like God working on somebody, we're like, oh, sin. Like he's taking on sin. That might be part of it. But it also might be like God's trying to make you more bold. God's trying to make you a better speaker, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know for a long time I was like, I don't want to speak in front of people. I was like, I don't want to do it. And then I started teaching my Bible study.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, I was like, I've actually gotten pretty good at this.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I wasn't so great at it.
Yeah.
And I would, you get that weird, like nervous, like not thing. And like, but the more you do it,
Mm-hmm.
the more that it doesn't necessarily always go away,
Mm-hmm.
but you learn how to function with,
Mhm.
with the disability. You learn how to function of, oh, I feel really nervous right now, but I've got something that I want to say because I've been preparing for it. And so I'm going
Yeah.
to say the thing that I'm going to say. And
Yeah.
hopefully, God willing, it comes out good.
Yeah. Absolutely. I like that you said a lot of life can happen to you really fast, because whenever I'm getting down on like my life or my just where I'm at, my sister Bethany will remind me literally of you. She'll be like, Brooke, remember how fast everything happened for Kyle? He got married, he had a baby, he had this, like all in a year. And she's like, she'll always say to me, like 8 months from now, your life could look different, or a year from now. And the thing that I have just come to terms with is, okay, even if 8 months from now my life doesn't look different, that's okay.
Yes.
That's totally okay. But just knowing that any moment God could totally change my life, and being willing and open to whatever he has been like the biggest game changer for me.
And actually, I like, so before you even said what you just said, I was like, that was going to be the point that I made, which is that like, it's really common in like the church world to kind of be like, just hang on, like God's going to make something happen. Like, oh, like all this stuff. And it's like, whenever you've gone your whole life and like, it seems like nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, so yeah, I mean, it's fine.
It just gets like frustrating, especially like you were single for a long time.
So,
and you probably got annoyed with people saying
so
that
this is
too.
what I was about to say. So like,
yeah, go.
I never had a girlfriend ever. Right. So like the first girl that agreed to be my girlfriend, I immediately asked her to marry me. Right? Which like most people are like, that's a terrible decision. But I was like, no, this is kind of the best decision ever. And I can definitely explain why.
Yeah.
And it was pretty funny because after like for people that don't know, I asked my wife to marry me after 2 months of meeting her.
Yeah.
Not dating. Like I met her 2 months. I actually know 2 months and 8 hours later.
2 months and 8 hours. This guy's keeping track.
Yeah, no, because that was actually the line I used to propose.
That's hilarious.
Was the fact that I was like, I have a text message documenting like 2 minutes before you walked in the coffee shop, so I know the exact time that I met you.
That's hilarious.
But in that process, I was like, these are all of like the potential mistakes we could be making right now. Right? Like I'm very aware that like we're running into this very fast. And so I set aside like time. I was like, okay, you like me and everything. I was like, here's all of the potential red flags that I think somebody else might think is potential red flags. I was like, and most of that was making my wife realize that she was marrying a complete and total nerd. Like I was like, I can play not nerd very well. Like I did sports, I played hockey. Like I can play non-nerd very well. I've been to enough like Pokemon trading card game tournaments that I'm like, man, these kids, you just really need to like play soccer on the weekends or something. Like
pick up a sport.
Yeah,
something.
like pick up a sport, guys. Like we can
we need
do
to give
this.
it a little tough.
Yeah. But and so like but there's other real stuff that was in there too.
Yeah, totally.
But with that, like we were able to just kind of already establish all of those things so that by the time I had told my dad, he was like, let's go out for lunch. I was like, yeah, okay. And he was like, I'm going to do the thing that a father's supposed to do, which is give you a bunch of warnings about why you shouldn't be marrying a girl that you just met 2 months ago. He's like, but I know that you've probably already thought about all of these things. And I was like, yeah, I have. And he's like, but I'm going to say them anyways. And I was like, yeah, you're fine. You're good. Go for it. And so like we spent like an hour and like he like said like all the things. And I was like, yeah, I have good reasons for all those. And I explained them all. And he's like, those are good reasons for all of those. And I was like, yeah, thank you. And
when you had told me your method for fast tracking your guys' relationship, you were able to systematize dating in a way that I had never seen before. And I was honestly amazed. I was like, yeah, they did this fast, but it was smart, like strategic. You guys both laid out your red flags. It also helps that you are both honest and you're both in your 30s. So you have some life.
Yes.
You know, you're not like 20 and just hormonal and you saw the first girl and you're like, let's get married.
And I want to say something.
A lot of people do that.
Yes. And so like our track of coming together was fast, but there was a long time of preparation on both my end and her end. So whenever like church people give advice, it's usually like 2 or 3 things. It's like read the Bible, go to church, pray, right? That's it.
Yeah.
Seriously though, do those 3 things. like as in the most like real way that I can. So, but the reason why we could do the fast track relationship is because we were doing those 3 things for a very long time independently, right? And we did them in church settings where other people could validate that we were doing them because they could see the fruit in our own lives, right? Like, I did not approach Jessica, right? Jessica I was recommended to Jessica, right?
By people from here.
By people from here
for your character.
that vouched for me.
Yep.
Because we had a decade-long relationship of being in community with one another, right? And so that's the thing. It's like, on one hand, we systematize a lot of things because I'm an engineer and I systematize a lot of things, but there was also a lot of community building and character building stuff that happened for a very long time, whenever most of the time, personally, I was very bitter and I'll just be honest, I was mad at God for a long period of that time before Jessica showed up. I mean, there were times where I was in like a very dark place because, I mean, so jokingly, I don't know if I've mentioned this to you, but my favorite Psalm is Psalm 88. If you go and read Psalm 88, do it at any time you want. It's the most depressing song you've ever seen in your life, right?
Why is that your favorite one?
Now I have precisely because it is like the most depressing Psalm
the goth
ever.
Psalm.
So, so literally there's a line in it where he goes, "Darkness is my closest friend." So yes, it is literally like the emo like psalm. And kind of the story behind that is actually, so I think you can read in like the top like heading on it. I believe it's by a guy named Heman. It's like Hemen, something like that.
Not loading.
I'm doing this off of memory, so if I spelled that wrong, like I should look it up. I have a Bible.
It's no, I do too, but it's not loading down here. So
but it's the only psalm that is written by that guy. But every other reference that we have of him in the Bible, it basically talks about him in glowing terms. Like I believe he's like, I don't know if he was the high priest, but he was serving as like one of the higher up priests during David's time period. And he's just seen as like this really great guy. Like, and he did all this great stuff. It's like, well, why is the only psalm by him this depressing, like super sad thing where he's just like upset about all this stuff? And the thing that's actually different about it, the thing that makes it the most depressing one, is because there are actually there are a fair number of depressing psalms, many of them written by David, but almost all of them do some kind of like coming back around, where they come back around at the end and say like, God, thank you for all your blessings and all the stuff that you do, and I will praise you even in the depths and like all this stuff, right? And it usually comes back like up around. 88 doesn't. 88's highest note is the very beginning one where he goes like, "God of my salvation," and then like the rest of it is just like, "You've abandoned me."
Wow.
And it never gets better, right? And there will be times, and like, and here's the thing, it's like, for what you said, like for the station that you're in your life, and I was in that station for a long period where I was just like, God, nothing's happening. Like, I'm trying my best to serve you.
And mind you, you were really doing your best.
Yeah,
I
like,
mean, you were the most faithful youth leader that I had. You were discipling kids outside of crew.
Yeah, I
You
was
were
doing
having kids
mentorship
over
stuff.
to your house.
Yeah.
You were letting them sleep on your couch if
Yeah.
they had to. I mean, Kyle was like all out the best, like pastor, not pastor. Truly.
Well, thank you.
You're
Like,
welcome.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And one of the things
So
that
I
can
can see
happen
how that'd get
is that,
frustrating.
yeah, well, and I've had a long life of that,
Mm-hmm.
of trying to do the right thing and actually having it come back to bite me in the face.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's awful. Because
Yeah.
so, I mean, because we're on this topic, like the first girl that I ever like really wanted to date, we went on one date that lasted 10 minutes before she canceled it and said that she felt sick and needed to go home. And I was like, oh, okay. Did I mess something up? I was like, we literally, like, we went to, like, it was like a Coney Island. And I was like, we'll just get water. And then we left before we ever ordered food. We didn't even order food. Okay. And then she called me a week later, and basically on the phone. And what she told me was that she thought that we shouldn't date because I was too good for her. And I was like, so first of all, just like an advice, ladies, never tell a guy that like he is too good for you. Because the thing is like the capacity for like a guy to be really evil and to get really evil fast is like high. And so I was like, I could become very bad very quickly if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, Kyle's like, I'll be a bad guy. I'll be ripping up some tires in the parking lot.
I was like, and to be honest, it actually that was one of like the first like really like I have like a couple of like what I categorize as like dark periods in my life, and that was like a dark period. I basically decided like, so that was like at the beginning of summer of whenever I was in high school. And I basically locked myself in like the in my room and played Call of Duty for the rest of the summer.
Whole summer.
And I was like, I'm not gonna go see people. I was like, yeah, and so like, and so like,
do you
I
think
struggled.
she just said that because she wanted to let you down?
Oh,
nicely?
I know. No, I know why she said it. I don't want to get into it because there are personal reasons on her side.
Totally.
But so I know, like she honestly, like she was going through a lot.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of personal stuff that was happening to her. I mean, I doubt she'll ever see this, but she had a young family member die previously, and I think at that time in her life she was just looking to rebel.
Yeah.
Is what it was.
Really
and it was it was really sad. And it's not like I maintained a relationship with her, so I don't know what state she's in, but like I hope she's doing better.
Yeah.
But that did like set me up on like, okay, like, well, what am I doing and all this stuff. And so, and it became a thing where, you know, as I went on in life and college and everything, it was like, okay, I need to do the right thing even whenever it doesn't work out for me.
Did that make you question, like, should I be bettering myself and be such a good boy if girls don't want that?
Well, it did for a little bit. I mean, it really did for like a little bit. But it came back to, because I was already a Christian at this point, and I had been a Christian since I was like 10. And it came back to, at the end of the day, I was like, okay, do I want a relationship more than I want to serve God? And there were times where it's like, that's not an easy yes to go with, right? There are times where you're like, no, maybe I don't want to serve God as much.
Mm-hmm.
And especially whenever, you know, you get into other weird things, because like if you're a single person for a long time in a church, people start going, is there something wrong with you? Right? And you start getting those things, and it's like,
Or you get the like your clock. If you're a female, your clock's ticking.
Right.
Like,
yeah. So I never dealt with that.
You didn't get that, but like
the male clock goes on for a while.
you definitely get that as a female. Even my doctor told me this past year. She's like, yeah. So some of these things, it's just because you're in the peak of your fertility. And I was like, when at the time I was 23. Now I'm 24. I was like, the peak.
Yeah.
What?
It's like,
like
you're like,
I
hope
left
not.
the doctor
Yeah.
kind of sad. I was like, shoot, I'm at the peak. What? Just downhill from here? What does that mean?
Yeah.
It's all just downhill.
Yeah, it's just
sorry, Brooke. It's all downhill from here.
It's literally downhill from here. So I get the pressure.
So
yeah.
I mean, and I can't fully speak to that because you're going through some other things that.
But your wife gives me hope, and these other not older women, because your wife isn't old, but.
Well, she is older. It's okay.
She's considered a geriatric pregnancy because anyone over 35 is considered. So she's over 35.
And she's doing her second one right now.
Yeah.
But,
so that gives me hope because I'm like, yeah, she's literally.
I'm not a doctor.
Doing amazing.
I think she's doing great. Keep it up, babe.
Yeah, keep it up, Jess.
How does that make you feel, Kyle, to be married to a woman that's in a geriatric pregnancy?
I try to not think about it too much.
Isn't that a little ridiculous though?
I know
they say that
at 35. Come on.
I
mean, but I have an aunt that she had her youngest. She was 42, 43. I mean, it was a miracle type thing, but new husband, and it happens. So
it does.
Yeah. Well, and
so back to what people in church say to you.
Yeah.
You know,
and so like you can there are things that even like the church does of thinking that like, okay, well, like it's on you, like, okay, you might have a secret sin issue and that's why like you're not getting married or whatever. And I'm just like,
do people actually say that to you?
So no one has,
or insinuate that maybe?
So I've definitely been at churches where it's been insinuated, not necessarily about me directly, but just like in general. Oh yeah. I've heard people like say stuff like that. The thing that you get mostly from like that people say directly to you in just not in church, but in like the culture in general is, are you gay?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I don't know how many times I've been on a job site and like, cause as a contractor, like go from like place to place and you meet new people all the time and people are just like, how old are you? Like, you don't have like, are you
Not
gay?
Married?
And I'm just like,
they straight
no.
up ask you that?
Oh yeah. I've been asked that. I mean, I don't know if you, but actually I've talked with Logan about it a bunch. Logan, he's like, we were talking about it one day and he's like, I get asked that all the time. It's like, yeah. And it's like, you know how annoying that is? It's like, okay, because I'm doing it right. And like, I'm trying to like save myself for marriage. And like, I'm not going to go to the strip club and I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to do that. And everybody's just like, well, are you gay? Like, nah, bro, just trying to like be a good person.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But, and so.
Guys might get that. I feel like the equivalent is girls get like, oh, your standards are too high, or you're not going to find what you're looking for, or like people just maybe think like if you're a female and you're single, or they'll say things like, yeah, it's really tough out there. Like they reconfirm the fears that you're already feeling, and then you're like, you're not helping.
Yeah. Well,
but I've never been asked if I'm gay, so
yeah.
Yeah, well, society in general right now says, well, if you're not doing it this way, if you're not out there dating and sleeping around and living with people, well, if you're a single male at 35, you're gay.
Yeah, that's the only case.
Or you just haven't realized it yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Crazy.
And so it becomes, and so I mean, I'm trying not to steer the conversation in like a completely different, because we could talk about the whole like there's a lot of issues in our culture with dating and
I mean, however we want to steer this.
I mean, really, we've gone from calling this is more of how to be single in America, and follow God.
Well, I mean, so part of that, because I mean, a lot of that stuff is interconnected, because like your calling. So like, okay, so it's like, and I'll say the thing that we talked about before, but we didn't actually say. It's like, okay, your calling is to love God and love other people. Like that's your calling.
Hard stop.
Right? Yeah. Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's all, and that's also that is your calling, because that's the meaning of life. Right? And the way that you do that is you pursue as your highest goal the person that is life. which happens to be
God.
Jesus. He said that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, when you pursue Christ, it will also cause you to pursue other people.
Mm.
Because that's why we're all here. It took me a long time to actually realize that. That is not something that I had whenever I was younger. I hated people, actually. And for a long time, I was like, well, it's just going to be God and me and kind of screw everybody else. Like, nobody else really matters. And it wasn't until I was like, probably like a senior-ish in college when I was like, God, why are all these other people here? I'm like, they're kind of just annoying me and wasting my time and all of this stuff. And he's like, oh, they're here for you.
Well, and it's kind of funny that you say that, because going back the last couple of weeks in the podcast, we've talked about relationships and about, I mean, even with Brooke, about being single and following God's calling first. And that's going to lead eventually to the right people being put in your life and the right relationships and that stuff. And, you know, it sounds like, honestly, Kyle, that's the way that life happened with you. You pursued Christ first, and then these relationships, your wife was brought to you. I mean, yeah.
So and actually, I
Brooke has something to look forward to.
Yeah, well, actually, you do, and everybody does, right?
Right.
And like, and even whenever times where you're feeling like it's not, right? And so, I became a lot of that. So actually, let me just kind of tie some of the bows up on this. A lot of that, like, I don't know if it's depression, because it's not like I was like, but there were like dark periods in like my life and stuff. And
well, and you're human. My cousin always reminds me, it's like he'll ask me like, how you doing? And I'm like, good. And he's like, but remember, you will have days where you're not good. Because he'll ask me, he's like, in your singleness, how are you? I'm like, I'm great. Like, I'm doing the things. I'm going to graduate in a few months. Like, I'm achieving, tell him all the things. And he's like, yeah, but be honest, you still have bad days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, of course. He's like, because you have feelings.
Yeah.
And he like reminds me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you reminding me that?
Well, yeah.
But it's because it's true.
And like, so
you have emotions, you have feelings, you have passions. And when those aren't being met, it's like sometimes there's bad days.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I mean, I want to think that we have our calling, capital C, loving God, loving people.
Yeah.
And then we have lowercase c is our calling, that it's going to change throughout our life.
They're callings for a time. Yeah.
Yeah. There are callings for a season.
Yeah.
There are callings for a period, for this specific situation. You may be called to go talk to this person or go do this, or who knows.
And sometimes that calling isn't just from God. Sometimes that calling is like, it's like the Bible says like that there's an outcry, and it's like, there's a need over there. And God's like, you could go fill that. You don't have to. There's no requirement, but you could go do it. And if you do it, maybe there's something in it for you. Maybe there's nothing. But the
right place, right time calling kind of thing.
And a lot of what I did up here, I'm going to be honest. Like, so a lot of what I did up here, I did not feel a specific calling from God to do those things.
Meaning like crew,
like
driving
the bus, playing bass. I play bass on Sunday. I've told Beth plenty of times. I was like, Beth, I really don't feel a specific calling to play like on the worship team. Like, Beth, if you want to replace me, do it, please. I'm so in favor of that. But
you're like, my feelings wouldn't be hurt.
No. But if you need somebody, and if other people need a break, put me up on there. I can do it. I can play it. Like, that's fine. Like that. I don't have a specific calling to do that. But I do have a specific calling to serve in whatever capacity I'm needed for at the time, because I'm a part of this community, right? And there was a time where, like, and so after college, I was really like depressed by a lot of stuff, relation stuff not working out, job stuff not working out. I did not get hired for a job for a full year after college. So I sat around in my room and played video games, and I was particularly mad at God at that period of my life. And so I was like, God, I'm going to listen to every debate and every atheist that I can to find every reason not to believe in you. And so I listened to so many debates. There's a really popular show called Unbelievable. It had 12 years of backlogs. I listened to like almost every single one. And I eventually got to a point where I was like, man, not only are there like just really, really bad arguments on the atheistic side, like there's actually a lot of really, really good arguments on the Christian side that I hadn't thought of before. And I started, and doing that just got me really much more, I got a lot more invested into the podcast and scene. And that, so like that kind of like depression and like anger towards God actually turned into me learning a whole lot of stuff. And then I realized that I was like, I've been a Christian for 10 years and I'm learning about stuff that I never really realized. And that's whenever I realized that I didn't really fully know what the Trinity was. And I was like, oh, that's kind of messed up. I was like, I should probably do something about that. And so that's whenever I started my
apologetics
class and
the Oligans.
And so the very first one was like on like, okay, I'm going to tell all of you why the Trinity is wrong. And then all of you sit here and try and debate me and defend it. And I got to the end of that, and Jordan King goes, I guess I'm Muslim now. And I was like, well, that did not go the way I wanted it to go. And so then I was like, all right, I gotta
then you
steer
realized there was a need for people to know apologetics.
Exactly. And so I got really involved in that. And I kept doing things that kept me involved in the community here because I saw the needs, right? I didn't necessarily feel the calling for them, but I knew that I was supposed to be serving God. And I was like, and I know that I'm not necessarily good at those other things, but I am pretty good at this. And so I'll keep doing this for as long as until you tell me something else, this is what I'm going to do.
Yep.
Right. And so there was a long time of like, okay, I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing this. And it put me in places where I'm like, I feel like I'm serving God, but nothing's really happening. And then I got put into a place where, I got into a family situation where my cousin was not in a good spot. And I was like, okay. Actually, I would probably say that was probably the first time not the first time, but probably the most clear time where there was something wrong and God was like, you're going to go fix that. And it was pretty immediate and clear, where like, so I knew that she was in trouble and it was like, you're going to go get her and fix that. And I was like, okay. And I don't want to get into all the details of that, but I did. And I've realized now that I have been married, I'm like, I never would have been able to do that if I was married. Like that was like helping her was a 4-year investment that, quite frankly, I don't think anybody else in the world could have done, actually. And that's not, I'm really not trying to like pat myself on the back, because I'm actually not trying to pat myself on the back. I'm trying to say like, God used all of these other weird things, all these weird other disparate things to put me in a position where I could do something that no one else did. Yeah. And quite frankly, if you ask me, do you want to go back and redo it? I'd be like, no. It was awful.
God used you, specifically you, in a specific situation.
In a specific situation, right? And
yeah. Wow.
And after that is when Jessica shows up. And now like we have our girls, and it's like it's amazing and it's awesome.
Amazing.
And so part of me is like, man, was God waiting till like after this happened to and I don't fully know, but I do know that if it had happened differently, things would have been really bad. With my cousin. And so that's like my only really advice is you have to cling to God whenever we don't have any other option. Like right, Jesus says like, are you guys going to leave me now too? And he's like, we don't know where else to go.
Yep.
Like you're the one with the words of life here. We don't really seem to have any other option. And the only thing I can say is like, and so whenever I was in that position, I was like, I got really mad whenever someone was like, you're going to get married. I was like, you don't know that. So here's the thing. It's like, I don't know if you're going to get married. I don't know. I don't know what God has planned for you. But I know that he knows you, right? And I wouldn't trust anybody else with the plan other than him, right?
Absolutely.
Like, there's gonna be things that like I wish I was different. I wish I had met my wife whenever we were younger. I wish that things had been different. But whenever I think about that, I'm like, a lot of other bad stuff would have happened if that had happened, you know? And so it's like, you know what? At the end of the day, it's like, God, I'm glad that you did things the way that you did it.
Yeah.
So.
It reminds me of like the Beatitudes, you know, where it's like, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are the poor. And I was reading this devotion on it, and it said, like, basically, blessed are those who have to seek God because they have no other option.
Yeah.
Blessed are those who have exhausted every option, and he's all that there is.
Yeah.
And you'll be blessed because of that.
I think there's a quote, it's probably messed up. I think it's from one of the, like some royalty where it's like, would I rather be eternally happy or eternally sad? And the answer is, I'd rather be eternally sad because in my sadness, I wouldn't forget God. And it's like, yeah, there's a little bit of like truth to that. There's a little bit of a sobering truth to that in life. And there's also there's also a little bit of reveling in your pity party that our modern culture likes to do a lot, and that's also not the best thing to do at times. But yeah,
Wow.
that would be.
We're really
how it'd
seeing
go.
the emo side of Kyle here today.
Yeah.
We really are.
I'll try to not be too emo.
This is emo Kyle, just in case you
I
don't know.
think it's good though, because you wouldn't have always known. I mean, I've always known that you're a nerd and you love studying, and that's one of the ways that you connect to God is through nerding out on things. And I definitely do too sometimes, where I'm like, when I really learn about this thing of God, it makes me like more obsessed with him. Some people aren't like that.
Yeah.
They don't really need to nerd out. They just love God for other reasons. But I guess I never knew like that there were so many seasons of your life where you were on the outs with God. You still were following him, but you were like maybe on the outs.
No, so I
That's
always
really
put,
amazing.
This is why I've always like my favorite story is Jacob wrestling with God. Like you to fight with somebody, you have to be close to them, right? Like and that's what you're supposed to do. Like we're so many people think that like Christianity is like this like cookie cutter religion of like, here's a list of do's and don'ts. Do the do's, don't do the don'ts. Like that's not really what the Bible is. Like if you actually know what the Bible is, that's not really what it is.
No, I mean, and people tend to look down upon those that wrestle with God.
Yeah.
That have an issue, but you know what? I mean, it's part of us. It's part of our relationship. It's part of any relationship to say, hey, you know, God, why are you doing this? Why is this happening to me? Or, you know, no, I can't do that. I mean, even Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane said, hey, take this from me. I don't want it. You know, if it's your will, I can't handle this. So he wrestled with God a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, okay, we could go off on that for actually a long time.
Jordan Peterson's book, We Who Wrestle with God. I just started that audiobook. It's good so far.
So I haven't, but I was actually really excited whenever he like said that he was.
I'm still in like chapter 1 because it's like every chapter on audio is like hours long.
But
it's good.
But there is an idea that I have picked up actually from Jordan Peterson, which is like the only way that you can really like build something is with sacrifice. And the more that you sacrifice, like just think practically, it's like you can't build a building unless you actually put work in to build the building, right? Yep. And if you're trying to build a life, right, it's like, okay, well, what needs to be sacrificed for that, right? And what if you're trying to build an eternal life? What needs to be sacrificed for that? And if you're trying to build an eternal life for a community, for a family, forever, like, okay, that's going to take a really high sacrifice. It's like, that's Christ, right? But if you think about like just even it's like, okay, right, that struggle, right? and we want to like Pastor Todd was saying, like you want to like condemn someone that is like struggling with something. And it's like God's. We can get into a debate about this later, but God's chosen people are called the people that struggle, right? It's like that's what Israel is. Israel is like struggling with God, right? It's like that's what they're called. It's like, and that's actually what He chose to call them. Like He chose to call His people the people that struggle with Him. Like, there's a lot of wisdom there. There's a whole heck of a lot of wisdom there.
Yeah,
and it's like just because you're in a weird position with God and you're not you don't know what's going on. Like you hold on, right? Because we're trying to wrap this up.
Just in case anybody doesn't know,
right?
Kyle gets it here. This podcast is actually going to be
I just want to say this real quick.
Long,
I just want to say yeah. So, what does Jacob do in the wrestling? How does he win? He holds on.
Right.
That's all he does. He holds on. That's how he wins, right? And what is his reward? His reward is that he gets a broken hip. Right? Well, that seems like that sucks. Right? What does that broken hip make him do? Makes him walk slow. Like what? Makes him walk slow. That's his reward?
Yeah. How's that a gift?
Well, what it does, just like, I'm not making this up. Go read it. Like, what happens? He meets his brother. What's his brother have with him? 400 men. What does he do? He goes, I'm walking slow. I can't keep up with you. So I'm going to settle in this area instead. Okay. Well, we're going to keep going. Where's Edom at? Edom, that's Esau, his brother, to the south. They kept going. They had 400 men. They're using the power of men to fight people. What does Jacob get? It's 400 years of slavery. Right? His brother gets 400 men to take a kingdom now. He gets 400 years of slavery. But what did they get? 40 years of wandering in a desert. What do they get? A bunch of struggle in the land. What do they get? Promised land. They get it. What do they get? A bunch of governments that don't work.
Yep. A bunch of bad kings.
What do they get? They get a king.
Right.
They get a bunch of bad kings. What do they get? Exile.
Yep.
It's like that's what they get. They get a divided kingdom. Yep. Right? Solomon, most wise man ever.
Dumbest
Pastor
man
Kim was
ever.
talking about. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, they're supposed to be in
there should be an asterisk by his name.
When people don't like actually like read the Bible and they're just like, oh yeah, why Solomon's the wisest man. I was like that's supposed to be kind of a joke. Like right. You're supposed to kind of pick up on that. Like,
absolutely.
Like it's supposed to be kind of a joke.
There may be a little sarcasm there.
Yeah, there's a lot of biblical sarcasm about like these are the patriarchs and the judges and all the things that you're supposed to emulate. Oh, look at how they're all terrible. Wow, that's weird. We're just gonna keep doing this for like centuries and just be like, oh yeah, look at this person right here that's kind of awesome is also kind of terrible.
Yeah.
And
then we get chronological snobbery and we're like, we would never do that.
Yeah, we wouldn't do that.
We would never do that.
And then it's like, okay, well, where's all that leading? Okay. So right. I just went through that whole rambling thing of like, where's it lead? It leads to Christ.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, I could do more rambling after Christ because the disciples went through a bunch of crap, and the early church went through a bunch of crap. And then the church went through a bunch of crap for 2,000 years. It's like, but where does it all lead? It's like, eventually it all leads to a shiny city on the hill.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you got to remember where we're going. And that's why you hold on.
Yeah.
And you can make it through like all the other stuff.
Right.
So good.
So, wow.
I always tell our students, do what you can with where you are, with what you have right now. If you're in high school, do what you can with what you have with where you are right now. If you're single in your 20s, do what you can with what you have with where you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I think the important thing is the where you are right now. And then when I look at your life, that you made the most of this community. And I think I appreciate that because now that I'm older, I see people that they're like, oh, this church doesn't have enough single people. I'm going to this church because they're so big and there's a big pool. This church doesn't have this. I'm going here. And over the years, I've seen people leave and I'm like, why don't you help us start that? Or stay here and help us create.
Yeah,
like you just, you peace out. And like, I just think that's such a cool, like, cherry on top for your life is you stayed here, this building that we're in. You didn't leave when you could have gone to a bigger church, maybe found a mate and left us in the dust. And you stayed, and God, I just feel like God rewarded.
There's a whole other conversation there, but yes. Like I've actually thought about that a lot, but yeah, I'll save it for time. Yeah. There's a lot to that. Like that stupid be the change you want to see in the world. It's like maybe not try to be the change you want to see in the world, but be the change you want to see in your church. You can do that.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing you can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's and I actually, again, another side story. Whenever I was in youth, I hated being told by the youth pastor that I had to play these stupid games where I ate baby food. And I'm just like, this is dumb. This is really, really dumb.
And gross.
It was like gross. And guess what? It also killed the youth group.
Were they doing it every week?
Not every week, but it was a lot.
Because I've never made kids eat that.
And one of the reasons
maybe
you
that's
don't.
Because of you.
One of the reasons you don't is because whenever I got on with Brian, I straight up was like, one of my things is we're never making these kids eat weird food.
Yeah.
And it's been a thing with like every single like
and
youth
I've
pastor.
never done it.
I'm like, we're not making these kids eat weird food. I think there's one time that Nate sort of thought about it, and I was like, Nate, I'm not making these kids eat weird food. I was like, I'm not.
I don't know why that's a thing. Like have you seen the Happy Meal that they blend and make you drink it?
No.
So
but I believe it.
One youth pastor that we've had in our history did that. They did like the Happy Meal night where they brought blenders in and blended like the pop, the ice cream, and then kids had to drink it. And I remember thinking like, why is this cool? Like we're like hazing kids.
Right. Why are we doing this?
Well, that's like that stupid, what is it? Bean Boozled?
Why are we hazing them?
Maybe.
The Bean Boozled beans, the Jelly Belly Bean Boozled
and they're like
ones.
super,
Yeah, they're like nasty. It's like lawn clippings and booger. And,
okay.
Yeah.
Vomit one,
My kids are like, oh, these are so cool. Why? That's dumb. That's absolutely dumb.
Yeah.
I'm not going to eat a jelly bean that is, that
It's
tastes like skunk.
It's like if you want to do it, sure, but I'm not going to force a kid to do it.
Right.
Right. And that's where like the line is. Yeah.
Well, this has been great. We didn't really talk about fully what we said we were going to. I think we weaved it in. So, would you have, Kyle, like 3 to 5 sentences to someone in a place that you maybe were at in your 20s, 30s? Like, final thoughts, what would you say to someone in your place?
Yeah. Just, find a way to hold on to God. He's trying to hold on to you. You just need to pay attention to that. We give trite answers to things, and sometimes they are trite, but keep doing them because they actually work. Right? Your grandmother wasn't crazy. Like pray, read your Bible, go to church. Do those. They work. Yeah.
Amen. How does he usually end this? He's do you want to do that part?
Sure. Why not?
You know the line. You know the line. This is good though.
Yeah, this has been awesome. We've come together, we've talked. Maybe next week Brooke and I will get to talk.
I'll be gone.
Because Kyle won't be here. So, everybody else will get a chance to talk. Sorry. No, I'm just messing with you, Kyle.
No,
We've really enjoyed having you on here, and it's been awesome. So this has been Real Talk without PK, but as PK always says, keep it real.